Good morning. I'll be presenting a case of a patient who underwent the equivalent of a Bentall surgery for for acute type A dissection and then presented to us in a chronic form. So he's a 67-year-old male, frail built, hypertensive for many years, had severe aortic regurgitation for which he underwent aortic valve replacement in 1994 with a Star Edwards valve. And then in 2008, he developed type A aortic dissection, which started at the sinotubular junction and went all the way down to the iliacs. And the dissection extended into the left common carotid artery, into the left internal carotid artery, the left subclavian artery, and the superior mesenteric artery. He had two left renal arteries which came off the false lumen, and he underwent emergency ascending aortic replacement with a interposition Dacron graft in 2008, immediately after the onset of the dissection. He had a very stormy postoperative period. He had renal failure, collapse of one lung, pleural effusion, had psychosis, and after that he had progressive dilatation of the thoracic aorta, and it reached more than 6 centimeters by the time it was November 2012. And there was persisting flow into the false lumen. And this is a CT angiogram 3D reconstruction in November of 2012. You can see the Dacron graft in the ascending aorta, and the dissection starts immediately after that. And you can see it goes up into the left common carotid artery and goes up the left subclavian artery. The true lumen is quite collapsed in the descending aorta, and then it goes all the way down into the left iliac artery. And this is some other images. You can see the false lumen is quite large. It's partially thrombosed and partially patent, and you can see the Star Edwards valve down there with its cage and a ball within. So this presented a real challenge to us. He certainly wasn't a case for another open surgery, and he was quite clear about that. And so if we were going to do an endovascular procedure, we would need to start the endograft from the ascending aorta, where the surgical graft is. We would need to protect the arch vessels. We would need to have a delivery system that came all the way down to the aortic valve. And so the delivery system should be very short. It can't enter the left ventricle. And you have to have it very stable there. And so you need to have some mechanism of stabilizing this delivery system while we're deploying the graft. So we thought of a fenestrated graft, and we made the fenestrations ourselves. We have our own instrument for fenestration. And this is another case which we're using for illustration of how we make fenestrations in these grafts. And then the graft is constrained in this manner, which is a runner wire outside the graft. And when you pull that wire, the graft springs open. And then we resheath it back into the delivery system. So in the procedure, we actually decided to use a transeptal mechanism of stabilizing the graft. So we did a transeptal puncture, and now we've got a through-and-through wire loop going through the Star Edwards valve and coming out of the femoral artery. You can see the poppet of the valve bobbing up and down, and that's very important to have going all the time, because otherwise you would have no cardiac output. And then it's not. All right, then we got a stiff wire through the valve, and we held on to that wire with a snare under the valve. And you can see that the poppet is still moving. And then over that stiff wire, we brought in the delivery system. You can see the delivery system has a very shortened tip, and we brought the delivery system right up to the valve. And now we are, I need your help to run this. Yeah, let's run that. Yeah. I'm sorry, but these were all running when I gave them in. But okay, now the delivery system is ready to be deployed, and okay, so we deployed the graft, we cannulated the fenestrations, we deployed covered stents into each of the fenestrations, and this is the, you can see we used 2 covered stents for the innominate artery, one going into the common carotid and one into the right subclavian, because it's a very large, short innominate artery. And then we did a kissing balloon dilatation, and there was this the communication between the true and false lumen in the left internal carotid, which we covered with a Viaban stent graft, and similar communication in the left subclavian artery, where we put another Viaban, and we got this final result where the arch vessels are preserved, the false lumen in the descending aorta and the arch is not opacified, and we extended all the way down to the celiac artery, and he did reasonably well after that. He is now 6.5 months down the line, and he has renal failure, so we have postponed his CT angiogram, which is planned for later this month. So this has not perhaps been reported before, and it demonstrates the feasibility of a total arch endovascular repair. Thank you.
Thank you.